Welcome to Wandering Monsters, because Random Encounters was already taken. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Aaron. This is the show where we find strange games you've never heard of before and play them so that you don't have to. This week, Cubivore.
Cubivore's Survival of the Fittest was published by Nintendo in February of 2002 and was a commercial failure. It was then localized by Atlas for God knows what reason in November 2002. Apparently, they saw its charm. Its wonderful 8-bit charm. This is clearly a serious eco-political title that is an allegory for deforestation. As you can see,
these
little
critters wandering about aimlessly in the plains.
the colorless beasts have robbed the world of wilderness, and that's a problem. That's the aspect of the game, is you need to restore wilderness to the land as the king of the Cubivores.
Ideally you would become the king of the Cubivores, and you do that by, of course, eating things.
Yeah, no, this is actually just a game where boxes fight one another and transform into other boxes.
And locomote strangely around the world.
With their little flaps.
Yeah, the story is kind of secondary, I think, to it's kind of now knowing itself as a game and kind of being silly.
See, look at that. That's what happens when you cut down the rainforests. Yeah. Sad little monkeys. They fall over.
So says the Lorax. So here's some of the beginning gameplay, and you play as a little cube with a single flap, and then you eat other cubes with their various amount of flaps.
And you grow more flaps in
mutate
different
into
places.
Other forms, like this.
And you just tear their little flaps off.
And they scream like pitifully when you eat them too.
Kind of sad for an E-rated game.
This is an E-rated game, and there's a lot of eating, a lot of killing, and a lot of
little
mating.
Square 8-bit puddles of blood that you're standing in.
Terrible.
No, this is probably one of the weirdest games I've ever come across. It's got a certain charm in its weirdness, but there's going to be a lot of head-scratchingly WTF moments in this game, like one after the other.
Well, it doesn't help that you mutate roughly once a minute or once every 2 minutes, so you're always constantly changing into a different form.
Yeah, the basic mechanics are these little flaps will show up in different places depending on the color of the monster you eat. There's like 5 or 6 different colors, and they all have strengths and weaknesses. Not a lot more to the mechanics than that. There's not a lot of strategy to it. It's mostly just target,
mashing.
Box, eat box,
there
become
is
other box.
Poetry, though, which you just saw, which is always a bonus. You don't see poetry in very many games.
No, it's a game of all sorts. It's it's got these just bizarre boss fights with bizarre references to weird things. This whole game kind of feels like an inside joke that you're sometimes not maybe a part of.
Yeah, that's a very good approximation of it, because you are left going, like, what the heck is going on?
Why is it Cub Scout Beast? These things aren't explained.
Well, and the second boss is Boy Scout Beast, so I mean, I don't know if that.
Yeah, there's a lot of I don't know, patterns, unexplained and random patterns in this game.
Like more poetry, which we're seeing right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of poetry in this game. A lot of terrible poetry.
So do we want to move on to our...
our general breakdown for this game. 3 good things about it. The satisfaction you get from clamping onto another box and just tearing its limb off is pretty wonderful. It's hard to put into words.
Yeah.
It's got the amusing locomotion for when you are like one of these little boxes with the one little flap and you just kind of scoot around. To see them, like the physics of it is just bizarre. And, of course, just, like, its charm with its super meta elements. It's very, makes a lot of references to itself as a game. There's a lot of just random things, like the poems, the wonderful poems.
And the mating. Like, all the random stuff. Like, really?
Oh, no. Now you're dead. Now you've been reborn
Tiny.
and reincarnated.
And then we got 3 bad things about the game. There were many, but these 3 stuck out. The first is repetitive gameplay. What you've seen so far is pretty much what you do for the entire game, just with different amounts of limbs and different amounts of attacking things before you tear them off. If you can probably see by the gameplay as well, the camera angles are terrible. Like, there's a lot of times you just really can't see what you want to attack.
Yeah, there's a lot of screwing around with
you
the
have to-
C-stick. It's a GameCube game.
Yeah,
And
you have to rely on the auto-targeting. A lot of times you don't actually know exactly what you're attacking. And then, it's kind of button mashy. And, like, a lot of the boss fights especially, it's just how quickly you can hit that A button before the boss jumps on you and knocks you back.
not a lot of strategy.
Yeah.
So overall, this game might be a little too meta for some, but if you're looking for something just truly bizarre, I'd recommend it. I can't highly recommend it though, as it's gotten really hard to find. If you're looking at Amazon or eBay, it can be like $100. It's kind of outrageous.
Yeah. If you can rent it, maybe, but
Yeah,
not
if you
many
can find
places.
it for a reasonable price, I'd recommend it. I don't know if there's emulators out there for this it's a GameCube game.
Yes, there are.
But
Not that we're encouraging that, but yes, there
not
are.
that we're encouraging that. But no, it's worth a try if you can find it for the right price.
Excellent. And we'll be back in a few weeks. We'll be doing this every 2 weeks with another ridiculous game for you guys to try and hopefully like.
Yeah. All right,
All right.
we'll see you.
Bye.